Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, D Palm. Follow me on Blue Sky at DPalm66. Follow the show on Blue Sky at UDPod. Follow the entire Intern Network at, you guessed it, the Intern Network. You found us. Don't you dare lose us. Subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe everywhere get your podcast for free $99. So what Nata doesn't know is that I can title these like internally. Like, I don't know if you can see the title I put on this.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. That's going to be one of the things we talk about today. But
I know exactly who you're talking about with this too. I love it.
Couldn't be more excited. Before getting anything, this whole thing's brought to you by DanielPaulMortgages.com. If you can pay your rent, you can pay a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. Make sure you check out my other podcast that I launched this year. It is a video podcast as well. So if you're on YouTube, check that out. Life, Love, and Real Estate. We're 6 episodes in, and the most glowing review I can give is that Susan listened to it finally and said, it's the truest version of me that I put out anywhere. I'm not talking.
So wait, it took her 6 episodes. It took her 6
to listen.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't pester people to listen. I'm like, look, man, I'm doing it. I put it out there. I'm here. I want to share it with the people. But like, as far as I'm not going.
You should have guilt tripped her by now. You should have guilt tripped her. Yeah, I know.
She listens to me for free all the time.
Fair. She voluntarily signed up for a lifetime contract with you with no opt-outs.
She gets she's in the stream. She gets the live stream. She gets the live stream. Like she doesn't need to buy extra content.
Also very true. Very true.
Before we get into anything today, I want to ask you a question, man.
What's going on?
Y'all know what I've said about Saquon in the past.
Dude.
And him and his president, like for the record, I wrote out this like Google Docs. I'm doing a talk now. I had all this stuff written out. And then this morning, Monday, April 28th,
God.
we get
that dude
Saquon hopping off of a chopper with the president.
45 and 47.
The president. And he didn't just do that because he decided to defend himself. Nata, I don't
understand. All he had to do was just wait until like Thursday. Like he didn't have to say anything. He could have just gone. He's going to be the one clearly to present the president with the jersey and everything. Mind you, his own quarterback's not going and told everybody that he wasn't going a week ago. Like there's
a bunch of Bulldogs weren't there either. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah. Like there's a whole bunch of this where all he had to do was shut up. And
he could have still gone. He could have gone. He could have gone golfing. He just didn't have to say anything about it.
No, you don't have to go on Twitter and defend yourself. Half of those people on Twitter are bots. Like that's the thing. All you had to do was just sit there, do nothing, go to the White House, and then after that, be done. No, everybody would have forgotten about it because Aaron Rodgers would have said something stupid by Friday, or most likely will say something stupid by Friday, and we'll have forgotten. But now
the internet's forever, dog. Like, have you seen the image someone's put together? I don't know who did it, but they stitched together his tweets during George Floyd protests.
Yeah, I did see that
shit today, and I was just like, well. Yeah, I mean, you told yourself. What do you want me to do? And Joel Anderson of The Ringer had a really good point.
Yeah. Shout out to Joel from Mo City, like
friend of the pod.
Like that dude. He's been calling it. He's been talking about the football to GOP pipeline for the better part of 6 months now.
He's been because it's a level of indoctrination. Because you got to understand that, like. The sublimation of self and the idea of groupthink is very real in the football locker. Like one of the reasons I always say like I don't want my son to play football is one, obviously the trauma, but two, like I want him to know where the locker room is. I want to have a good sense of self before he ventures forth into that thing.
Like it's just wild to me. Again, it explains what Jim Brown to an extent, like why he was a Republican before he passed.
Well, Jim Brown.
For other reasons exist.
That's a generational. That's a generational.
Yeah.
stripe right there. I think that's more of a product of a time than
fair.
Indoctrination. Considering this man was so not indoctrinated that he left.
That's
You
true.
know what? I don't want to do this anymore, and he stopped.
That's true. That's also very, very true. That man was like, I get money to be in a movie, and I get more, and I don't have to take head trauma.
What do you mean options?
Exactly. That man chose.
I don't have to be hit in the head no more. Well.
Yeah, and I get to be in a movie with Raquel Welch and anger white people. Yeah, of course I'm going to pick that one. Smartest movie ever made.
That'd be kind of hand waved. Speaking of things getting hand waved, Nata, you as a professional have worked in sports media for years now.
Yes.
I'm not calling you old. I'm calling you seasoned. I'm calling you veteran.
No, it's both. It's a little bit of both. Both two things can be true at the same time.
Have you ever in your life seen a situation that's emerging, like the one that's emerging in Chapel Hill? Because we can talk about all the details and the minutia and the weirdness of it all. But I have but one question for you, my friend. How many times did she interrupt before they said we've got to show one of them?
20.
Dog, I was like, hey, man.
20. Because that's like, here's the thing. Because I guarantee you, there was an email writer that went to the producers first before any tape, before they like between that and then the question I have is, hey, isn't Bill getting paid by the University of North Carolina? He ain't got no apparel on. How does that work out? How did he get away with that?
I love that's where you land with this.
Oh no, there's more.
That's such a
it's a
SID interacting brain.
That is the first.
That is, I talk to SIDs for a living. That's what that is.
That is SID brain. That is also like, yo, because again, we all know that remember, she's the head of Belichick Productions.
Does not exist.
Well, yeah, theoretically doesn't exist, right?
The company is not. They cannot find an LLC filed with that name.
Yeah, eventually there will be. At least, and mind you, if you're listening to this and it's still not up, go file it.
Do you know how many fake jobs I've given myself? This is just a fake job. She's 24. What? Yeah. Why are we taking this seriously at all?
Well, because Bill is. And like that's the thing.
Guess what? The last people who had a choice with Bill all said no thanks.
That's also true because that's the one thing I'm finding if you're Robert Kraft right now, imagine being Robert Kraft and seeing that and being like, you see, this is why he's not around.
That would be crazy.
Like think about if you're Tom Brady, dog.
Their age difference is great. Their age difference is greater than my age.
Yeah. Like, it's just like everything about
I don't know what I would talk to a 22-year-old person about right now.
Depending on if they have like a shirt, like an Outcast shirt on. Maybe. And that's like, hey, I actually have that album on vinyl. That's the only thing at this point. But you get it. You get it. I have that shirt on vinyl. I have that's the only thing that's the only thing you have something to talk about with a 22-year-old at this point. Because otherwise, you ain't really got shit to talk about. I'm sorry, you're unreliable. You're gonna be unreliable for at least another 8 years. I don't know, man. It's just like on a scale. Yeah. On a scale from like 1 to 10, how much of a train wreck is next year going to be at North Carolina?
Couldn't be more excited. There's a reason I asked you to come on and not Felder. I was like, Felder should close to this. This is ruined Felder's night. This conversation fuck up Felder's a whole week. I don't need to do it to him. We talked to Nata. He don't really care. And I'm glad I did it. I made the right decision. This is the right call.
Oh man, I feel so bad for him because I'm afraid to text him about it.
Oh, I refuse. I refuse to text him about it. I've texted him more about Ben Johnson, how excited we are for him, than I have about his alma mater.
No, because I feel so bad for him. I really do. Because this was a bad idea from the start. And North Carolina is trying to do this. And the scary part is, like, what North Carolina is doing with the football program is like gambling your mama's rent money to go double it to potentially pay off your car note or something like that. You're a basketball school. Embrace being a basketball.
You're a black DVD movie from the early 2000s, sirs. Like, I've seen this. I've paid my $7 in the gas station for this movie. I've seen this flick. And all I'm going to say about this is, like, there are bad ideas. And then there's Mel Kiper going on ESPN and screaming about Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted in the first 2 days of draft.
Oh, no. Like, we got to go there. Yeah,
we're here. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't been paying attention, first of all, weird. Second of all, the NFL draft was this past weekend, and the NFL draft is my favorite thing in sports. Is it? You laugh, and I mean this for real because my job for many years was a sports agent.
Yes.
And so when we watch the draft, and people are like, why are they even showing rounds 3 through 7? Hey guys, someone's dream just got made.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's life goal was just attained. And I want to frame everything I say next through that prism. The opportunity to be selected in the NFL draft is a dream come true for every one of these young men. We good?
Yeah.
Am I covered?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're covered.
Is Shedeur Sanders football crypto?
No.
This is my question. The reason I ask. Crypto is something that's told to have value, yet they have to keep selling you on it. The reason everyone thought Shedeur Sanders was going to be a top whatever draft pick was because for 2 years, we were told this is what he's going to be. We were told that when he went to Jackson State, once his daddy got that job to save HBCUs on a mission from God.
Yeah, that's true.
You know who recruited Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback before that?
Nobody.
FAU.
That's right.
A fine program.
Was that Willie Taggart? Was Willie Taggart?
Yes.
Okay. Which
we can ask the question of how much his father had his thumb on the scale in that one. But I'm not going to ask that because that'd be immature and unfounded. What I will say is that from the moment he picked up a football, no one whose name wasn't Dad didn't coach him.
Yeah.
He went to Jackson State. He got his son. Honestly, if you want to look at it from like a scientific, can I build a quarterback to make the NFL perspective, like in a Todd Marinovich kind of way, it's kind of fascinating because what he did
That's the name. It's funny. You bring that name up. I was walking the dog, and when I knew I was going to do this, first name that came to my mind was Todd Marinovich.
Because no, he didn't do the macros type of thing, but what he did do was he laid out the perfect pathway to take a kid whose physical talents may not be on the level one would desire to be a top flight quarterback, and he paved the way for him to be talked about as one of the top quarterbacks. What do you do? Goes to Jackson State, lures the best receiver in the country,
best two-way player in the country, yeah,
to Jackson State, and says, you two young men are going to take this motherfucker over. And meanwhile, they did. While football people who watch film would tell you there were certain problems in Shedeur's game that he'd have to clean up and never did,
yeah,
they took it to Colorado. And in a world that's developed into the attention economy, they were the richest team in America. Remember last year when every game was a thing? They had dueling pregame shows.
Remember it was it's an unofficial HBCU, which was the most annoying and
meanwhile this man has lit HBCU football on fire on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's put my personal distaste for Deion Sanders aside. This is about the kid.
Yeah.
And the kid was given every opportunity, every pathway to success. A lot of those good Shedeur Sanders highlights are actually great Travis Hunter highlights.
Or Jimmy Horn highlights.
He took the highest number of sacks in college football while still throwing about 30 to 35% of his passes within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Whew, that's the stat that still blows my mind about him. Like that
when you look at you're looking at someone who has a below average arm, who has non-special speed, and who makes late decisions. At best, he was always going to be a third, fourth rounder, fifth rounder. And you add in hey, am I drafting a backup or am I drafting a backup with a ton of baggage?
Yeah.
A backup who's never had to, and let's just speak real here, he's never had to earn the job.
Yeah.
So I ask you, was he football crypto? Is this proof of that at some point, because football is a results-based economy, the bell must ring, as they say in wrestling? And when the tape was graded, it never matched? Or was this something else? Am I completely off base here?
I don't think you're completely off base. I do think that Shedeur should have been drafted in day 2. I do think that there were some steps that were skipped, because if he was completely unprofessional in those meetings, I can't get mad if he did everything possible. You hear about all the interview stuff, and he clearly mocked the interview process and thought he didn't need it. Now, granted, that's a lot of his father putting the battery in his back, so there may be something to the crypto thing. I'm like, yes, he was propped up, but at the same point, he didn't put himself in the right position. He forgot he was one of us, and now he got the draft was his lesson that, you're not better than us. You're one of us. You just needed your reminder in this specific point in time, because quite honestly, this was his reminder that, yes, you are a black quarterback. There's certain things.
I'm pushing back on that. This isn't I get that, and I get the instinct to defend the black quarterback. This isn't that. His average depth of target in 2024 is 8.8 yards. That's 247th out of 338 quarterbacks who played college football last year.
I'm not saying that he was,
despite having the 21st highest time to throw, those same quarterbacks, as well as one of the best receivers in the country. I understand this need in this. Hey, look, you're talking to someone who defended Achilles Smith.
It's different, but it's different then, because Achilles Smith was was an endangered species. He was a pioneer. He was the first black quarterback that was allowed to stuff.
Okay, and so all I'm saying is there's nothing pioneering about the talent of Shedeur Sanders. There's nothing that warrants him being drafted anything. At best, I said he was going to be a day 3 pick. I said that. And I said maybe day 2 if he's lucky.
See, the thing is, I can't justify drafting Dylan Gabriel over him. I can't.
I can. If you're drafting a backup, guess what I don't want with the backup?
Baggage. Yeah, the baggage. And that's where
the equation changes. He behaved as someone who thought he had starter leverage. And in reality, he was in a backup position. Dog, he refused to work out anywhere but Colorado Pro Day. He refused to throw anywhere but the Colorado Pro Day. That's the behavior of someone who thinks that that's the behavior of a Cam Ward. Cam Ward is a cocky sumbitch.
Yeah.
Cam Ward will talk to you on the field knowing he's mic'd. Cam Ward does not give a fuck. However, guess what they didn't do? Something stupid and overlook the talent.
No, that's the thing, though. I agree with you that I agree he was propped up. I will also say this dude treated it like the NFL wasn't going to be the NFL. And for all of this bravado, he should have addressed this like he was actually going to have to compete, and he never did.
His daddy told him that you're going to be a first-round pick, and he never thought his daddy could be wrong.
And that's the other thing. When did you realize that Shedeur didn't have an agent? Because I found out quite literally at the draft.
I'm finding out live.
Quite literally. He didn't.
What do you mean doesn't have an agent? Define that for me.
His dad was his agent.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going to say.
And
we go back to my long-seated distaste for that gentleman.
That's
and this is the final example. It's not about. So this is and I always say this about sports and media. that sports media and sports in general are going to be the canary in the coal mine for what happens to the country.
Yes, they often are.
We've seen what happens when media parachutes into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because, as we've seen from Deion's behavior and his actions, will be vindictive towards media.
Yep.
And because we live in the attention economy, not being able to access that place would have hurt everyone's economy.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
From that starting point, we acknowledge that any NFL team trying to get information on Shedeur out of Boulder was working at a considerable disadvantage, considering the entire economy is based upon his father.
Yes.
So you can't do any outside scouting. He's turning down visits with teams. He's dictating terms. He's refusing to work out.
Yeah.
He's limiting his own exposure to the pool, his own ability to make an impression. The only time we've gotten a clear impression of what did happen was the Daboll interview. For those who don't know, allegedly, no one knows this for sure, Brian Daboll and he sat down and had a conversation, and he tried to install some of the offense, and Shedeur was less than receptive, less than prepared. He kept his headphones on the whole time, putting around his neck, playing music the whole interview. Allegedly, it was all alleged. And then they leave, and then the Giants take him off their board. That was one of the few teams that had him on their board in apparently a pretty decent position. But word out of Giants camp is that now, after that point, they were like, we don't want to, it's not worth the headache. And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the misunderstanding of what leverage is. If you have the talent, you have the power. That's the NFL. And he didn't have the talent to be exercising the level of power he was trying to show.
I guess where I'm at with this, and again, this is just my read. You are a black quarterback, and unless you are no doubt, and Cam Ward, kind of no doubt, like even for NFL quarterback prospect, he was number one in a bad quarterback year. But unless you're a no doubt, again, I guarantee you that when Cam Ward went to Titans camp or whenever Titans interviewed him, he nailed that. He was on point regardless of whatever. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't completely professional. There should have been an expectation of professionalism. And this is where I agree with you, where his daddy done set him up to be something where his father quite literally probably cost him millions, because I'm not sure he's going to make it out of Browns camp. And if he does,
that's the thing.
Like, I'm not sure he's going to make it. I'm kind of worried that he's going to be on a practice squad within 6 months.
For the record, if he stays at the practice squad, that's making it. For the record, I want that on record right now. If he sticks to a practice squad, if he can make the Browns practice squad, he made an NFL team, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him regardless. This is a lightly recruited kid who went out to be a second-team All-American and was drafted 5th overall in the NFL, 5th round in the NFL draft. Like this, by any other metric than the one they defined, it's a success story.
That's true too.
Any other metric.
That's also
then the one that they convinced you was the one that he deserved somehow is like, this is so. And what gets me is because when Colorado started, like you said, the new HBCU, all the horseshit that happened around it, people who didn't know a goddamn thing about college football started getting involved.
Bombing on it. Yep. And
so this is happening again because Shedeur Sanders is on the receiving end of it. And the lack of knowledge and expertise in a thing, plus unexpected results, will almost always equal conspiracy.
Jeez.
Right?
Don't get me started.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got certain voices with certain letters behind their names out there today doing media, doing hits. I'm talking about making Shedeur Sanders Colin Kaepernick.
No.
I know, I saw that. I've seen it.
I saw you sent me it, and I saw. And again, if I wasn't in the middle of something, I would have thrown my phone. But again, this person seen me throwing my phone, it would have been a bad move altogether. So, but yeah, I saw that, and I just wanted to throw my phone because we don't need to go there with this. It's so obvious what you're trying to do.
And the thing is, like, for any I want one. Just regular sicko college football fan inside every NFL war room. This never would have happened. This never would have happened. We could have gotten, because you know what it was? Access Media didn't want to get shut off from Deion, so they would repeat Deion's belief about his kid. He becomes the most talked about player. Analysts, I use the term as loosely as possible, decided to do mock drafts because mock drafts don't matter. The job is to make you look at them. And what's going to make you look at them by using those public name out there in Shedeur Sanders. So with him being the prevailing story of a college football season, which is remarkable to me and very good marketing by his father, he was able to be the story and allow media to be lazy for 3 days in the draft. A draft that was awesome. A draft that was fun. A draft that saw the Patriots rebuild their entire goddamn team in a way that I'm actually kind of nervous about. Abdul Carter asking Lawrence Taylor for his number and Lawrence Taylor saying no. Travis Hunter
which was
thinking he's playing. Go ahead.
The funniest part about that is like they were like, hey, yeah, LT, can I get 56? And then everyone's surprised that LT said no. And then everyone's like, why don't you use 11? And it's like, hey, buddy, you might want to do some research on why 11 might not be available either.
I can't believe people were surprised LT said no. I'm surprised he didn't cuss him out in public. I'm surprised it was as nice as it was. We're talking about surprise. I'm shocked and appalled.
Honestly, the surprise is that like LT didn't ask for like $4 million up front because that's
take the money and then still not give him the number.
Exactly.
That's the LT I know.
That's the LT I know. Again, go ask Brian De Palma at any given Sunday and Oliver Stone about that. Go ask him.
Is Travis Hunter really about to play both ways, man?
No.
Thank you. I need to talk to someone some damn sense.
Like
guys, are they going to pay him twice? Are they going to pay him twice? No. Then guess what? It's more cost effective to say he's a DB and then occasionally use him as a wide receiver.
Exactly. Haven't we learned from Jimmy Graham when Jimmy Graham tried to get designated as a wide receiver and didn't qualify despite having all those snaps in the slot? It doesn't help you to do that.
Are you trying to do? You want to shorten your career? Cool. Play both ways, brother. I've said this since he started. Look, man's a grown-ass man to do what he wants. They weren't giving him 2 scholarships, were they?
They weren't giving him any rest either.
They give him double class? What the fuck are we talking about?
Exactly. He still got eligibility and a whole scholarship, academic scholarship to where he graduates from Colorado if he wants. If so,
you mean Dr. Travis Hunter?
Exactly. Dr. Travis Hunter.
Hey man, I know I got dog brain, but Malachi Starks going to the Ravens and that those safeties being Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks is a problem. That's a problem.
Like if you're DK Metcalf, how pissed off are you right now that you quite literally cannot go in the box without getting your head taken off?
Livid.
I'm just like
Malachi Starks is Greg Blue. Like he's evolutionary Greg Blue. He loves to hit you. He loves to hit you. Oh.
Like that's like if you're a receiver in the AFC North, you have to be pissed. Because it's like, okay, we're only doing go routes and out routes. Nothing over them, no posts, no dagger routes, none of that.
Who for what? For what? What are that for? That's crazy.
Like I'm doing 3 routes, hitches, outs, and goes. That's it. Everything else
calisthenics. I'm out here to run to get break a sweat. We're doing some light cardio today. We are not getting hits, no sir.
Man, no.
So I'm off that Falcons narcotic.
Dog. That's the other funny part about this Shedeur Sanders thing.
What? Oh, we'll get to that after this. Actually, let's do that right now. Jeff Olbrook is the defensive coordinator. Stop.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Jeff Olbrook. For the record, I've come to understand that people don't know things a lot, and I just assume that they know these things. So I'm started setting up some of these stories better. On Thursday night during round 1 of the draft, Shedeur Sanders received a phone call purporting to be from an NFL team talking about he's about to be drafted. It turned out to be a prank phone call. If there's one thing I learned in my life from the fringes of the NFL, is do not fuck with NFL security. I say this nothing because of anything I did or was around, but the stories I've heard affirm do not fuck with NFL security. You know how much you don't fuck with NFL security? NFL security means if you're in the NFLPA, you have access to a phone number that someone will pick you up at any time, free of charge, and drive you where you need to be, if you were need to be. That's fantastic. And those records never get out. They could, and they don't. And that's NFL security. So, NFL security apparently tracked down the prank caller, and it was new Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, late of your New York Jets. It came from his son. And he said the son got his hand on an unlocked iPad and got not just Shedeur Sanders' number, but some other numbers of people and prank called them throughout the evening. And they're just thinking, oh my God, this man's son acted a fool. I hope he's on punishment. This man's son is 21 goddamn years old.
That's the best part. Too old to be doing this. And mind you, recorded all of this on the internet.
See, that's what I was going to ask you, because I don't know if this is true or not. Is this true?
No, it's on the internet. He recorded. He recorded it for TikTok.
I want people who have children about this age to listen to me. You have raised the dumbest people ever to live on this fucking planet. I blame you. I blame you entirely. You are why I want to be a good dad, because I look at decisions like this. He fucking filmed it.
Yes.
Oh, I hope he gets his daddy fired, and I hope his daddy gets to fight him. I hope his daddy. You ever fight your dad?
I tried.
I never tried. I mouthed off one time too far on my mother, and I caught a fist in the chest in a way that I was like 17, and I was going to Cologne. I was about to play college football. Couldn't tell me shit. Mm-hmm. I learned that day.
It's life or death.
Don't try certain things.
Yeah.
It's education, really. And Jax Ulbrich, first of all, stupid name. Second of all, he sounds like he's 12. If you go by Jax and you're 21, I should be able to hit you in the face. Whatever happens to Jeff, because apparently the NFL is like getting involved in like the Falcons have released a statement. Everyone's very upset, as well they should be. This is
that's a security issue.
Well, it's a security issue, but there's also no way that Jax knew that Shedeur was going to slide to the fifth.
There's also that too.
In defense of a shitty prank, he had no idea this was going to happen. Because he listens to the same media as Mel Kiper. For the record, Mel Kiper has never been in one fucking draft day room. He has never worked in one front office. He's never coached once. He's never played the goddamn game. You know how Mel Kiper does this? You know what Mel Kiper does? Hey, if you listen to the podcast and you're 30 minutes in, congratulations, you get to hear Daniel used to be an agent story. What Mel Kiper does is, if you're one of certain people's clients, I'm not going to name any names tonight. If you're one of certain people's clients, you'll be put on a speakerphone while your agent talks to Mel Kiper and tells you talks about what a great prospect you'll be. That's how he used to convince kids to come out of school early.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, when he said that if Jimmy Clausen didn't pan out, he'd retire.
Yep.
Do you know why he said that? They shared an agent. Ask questions about who's giving you information. Back to your normal podcast where Daniel's less angry. Mel Kiper boils my blood, brother. I don't know, man. I just want to get.
Did you see did you see his quote about the draft during the draft about how the NFL has been like poorly evaluating quarterbacks for 30 years? Yeah. Again, local man who sets fire complains about the inferno.
I don't want to talk.
That's what that
honestly
was.
Like when I was doing this, the Google Doc for this, I was like, oh, I'm angrier about that than I thought I was. I didn't realize how mad this still made me. I thought I'd grown up and like moved past this.
No,
watching him continue this con of like, I knew a guy once, and I'm a kingmaker. And now that other people's voices are in the room, it's really I don't know. I love it.
Weird. It's very weird, and unfortunately, like it makes me wonder how and why they chose him over McShay. That's the thing I wonder about, because what happened there.
The person I do feel worse for in this whole process, Quinn Ewers.
Dude, he should have gone back. He should have gone.
There's nowhere to go.
Oh, he could have gotten money. He would have gotten money.
Oh, I'm saying you couldn't go back to Texas.
No, he couldn't go back to Texas, but he could have got. Man, Carson Beck got how much from Miami?
Not as much as everybody says.
Fair, but that's still more than Quinn is going to make.
More than league ass minimum.
Exactly. Quinn, he's making more than Quinn Ewers.
That was a bad place in my soul, and I apologize. That joke hurt me.
But that's not But again, you're not wrong though. There's so many of these kids that overestimated a whole bunch of these things, and like
speaking of overestimated, this is a kid who moved from Texas to Ohio for his senior high school so he could get the NIL money. He then went to Ohio State for a season, decided he didn't want to sit on the bench, transferred to Texas, played his way in and out of the first round over the course of 3.5 years. While Arch Manning's breath was hot on his neck, came out and did this.
But everyone told him it was a bad idea to go to the draft.
This is it, though. This is like people want to talk about free market and shit. Like this is the NIL market correction. This is NIL. Like you can't just chase a buck, baby. You got to build something somewhere.
Fair. Yeah, that's true.
This is that you can't.
We're about to see it in the NBA with the college.
There's going to be some cautionary tales in this bitch.
Oh, we're about to see we're really about to see it. Because you're seeing it now with all the NBA like less than qualified NBA bigs right now. They're staying 3rd, 4th, 5th. Hell, Hunter Dickinson might get a 6th year somewhere. Like that's how bad this was, and I know you have no idea who. I'm
giving you 1 minute to talk about college basketball. Go.
No, I'm just all I'm saying is NIL is going to make this very interesting. It's going to make the second round of the NBA draft incredibly boring, which is why you don't separate the first and second rounds of the NBA draft. It is an asinine idea that never should have taken off with the advent of NIL. It was always a bad idea. There's my rant. Bye.
I built in space for you to talk about the March Madness experience and the beauty of the kid dreams. And you go on our patented more is not better rant.
Are you really surprised? Again, at this point,
I can be amused without being surprised.
Thank you, because that's the thing. Like the more is not better thing is going to go to the NCAA tournament when they expand this thing to 72 or 76, which makes my life again. It gives me job security, but at the same time makes my life a little bit more miserable.
I love it. You are the ultimate. I want to sit in a therapy session. Would job and security make you sad? Yes. How about too much security also makes me sad? Wait, what?
You ain't the one that's got to be. Here's the thing. So, like, as part of my March Madness rant, do you understand what time I go to bed after every tournament night? I'm up to quote Lenny Williams, when the TV go off. My TV is on CBS Sports Network at 1 in the morning, make sure one of my hosts gets off on time. Then we record the show. Then I have to do all the socials and everything else like that. By that time, it's 5 a.m. By the time I'm done. That's for 4 nights. That's for 4 days a week, basically basically about a month. And then I have to get my body back to normal. And at 42, it's a little bit harder to do every passing year. So I know no one wants to hear my. No one wants.
It used to be. I hope I've got work next week, and now it's I've got too
fair.
Much work. Ain't no happiness nowhere.
If you knew me to be happy again, you would.
I'd be very confused. I'd be very confused.
Yes.
Let's talk about something that's made me very happy. The NBA playoffs. Look, guys. Dude, say what you will about the regular season. Go ahead and get your narratives off. I don't give a fuck. I love the NBA. The playoffs are my drug, and I am hitting. Because guess what? So are these young men. They are playing so goddamn physical.
Yes. I hope everybody understands. Like, there's a reason why the playoffs are the playoffs and the regular season is the regular season. We can't have 82 games of what playoff basketball is. They would die. It's quite simple. We have to have a separate, there's 82 and there's 16, and it's perfectly fine. Let's let a thing be a thing. And by the way, all those ratings that were supposedly so bad, Paul, did you see what the opening weekend did? in terms of TV
you know, ratings? I don't look at ratings because I know how media rights deals work. They don't work by week. I tell you that much. Jesus Christ, I don't look at ratings.
Yeah,
I don't look at wrestling ratings. I don't look at wrestling ratings, bro. I refuse to look at NBA ratings. No, I don't even. I shut off everyone who talks about. I'm like, you know, they already got $1 billion, right?
Yes.
There's no reason to talk about this.
Again, do you want to hear how stupid? Because again, I know you saw all the concern trolling. Oh, the ratings are down. Oh, I'm so glad you got to ignore it. I couldn't.
I know it's your job.
Opening weekend was the best weekend for the playoffs in 25 fucking years.
Can I make a quick point really quickly?
Yeah.
You pay attention to it because it's your job. Everyone can hear my voice. It's not your fucking job. Don't pay attention to it. Stop it. Cut it out.
It's the dumbest talking point. It's the dumbest talking point.
This is the first year in probably 5 years where they've actually turned the page. Where yes, LeBron and Steph are there, but they've done a much better job in the last 12 months of embracing the next generation. Mm-hmm. Anthony Edwards might be Yo Mama's favorite basketball player in 2 weeks. I need y'all to get ready for it. I need y'all to accept the fact that some nigga from where is he? He's from Atlanta. He's very Atlanta. Oh, not Reed. He's not from Reed. He's from a high school here in Atlanta that I can't think of the name of. I think he's from Thurl High School. And this is a Thurl man. This is yes. This y'all aren't ready. All that I don't want to be the face of the league shit. Y'all believe if you want to.
Like this might be the closest thing we get to Allen Iverson. Like this may be this generation's Allen Iverson.
But what if Allen Iverson had somehow lined up all his heroes to vanquish in 2 years consecutively in a row? Like when he wiped out Kevin Durant with the gentleman's sweep last year, I was like, oh, this shit might be real. Then he goes down to Jokic 3-2 and wins a game 7 after being down 20 in Denver.
Yep.
And then goes toe-to-toe with this dude, loses to Luka, and wants to do the first round back next year, right at Luka's neck with his other hero, LeBron James, riding sidecar, looking every second of 40 years old.
Dude.
Let's talk about that series first. Minnesota Lakers. Y'all know I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm a LeBron fan, so I cheer for the Lakers. I'm not one of y'all people. We have similar interests right now. I am not one of you people. Y'all are sick.
Do we want to talk about the fact that Luka can't get by anybody? Like
he's hurt. Luka hurt, man. That's fine.
He's hurt.
But he's playing
sick.
through it.
He's playing through it, but I don't think that. I don't want to say
this season. Right. This season of the Laker run was always the free money season.
Embryo.
This was always hey, it's proof of concept. It's there. It works. We didn't build a team around it. This isn't. We'll see how far it goes. But this plane's not built to fly.
It's not. But there are some signs with Luka that kind of disturb me in terms of long term.
If you get one more season out of LeBron, give him the LeBron plan in the offseason, he'll be fine.
If they better, because if not, like this has a chance to go sideways.
Y'all act like LeBron's ever letting a teammate just be lazy. Like that's the wildest shit to me. Fair. He had Matthew Dellavedova covering Steph Curry for at least one game, hard as shit. Like y'all can tell me LeBron's not a good leader. Okay.
No, that part I don't believe. That part I don't believe. But like
everywhere he goes, everyone, dog. When that Olympic documentary was Steph's like, I've never seen anything like this. Like the reverence with which his peers speak of him.
Yeah, no,
that's the wildest shit to me about LeBron James. But yeah, they are fucked up. Anthony Edwards is that dude, and this may be the next. Like there is a reason that I'm not going to get into because it's late. As to why Luka was so embraced by so many people for so quickly. Mm-hmm. But Edwards might have just ended this shit.
Yeah.
Because his brand of basketball is like there's a clip
his brand of basketball is old school. It's old school, straight up old
there's
school.
There's a clip of Luka dunking his rookie year, and then someone said American processed foods protected all of us because he could have killed us if he had never found the hole. We'd all be underground by now. But yeah, Anthony Edwards might be that dude, and the whole Western Conference needs to be put on notice because he's coming and he's not slowing down. Big sweep, Oklahoma City over Memphis, lopsided as all hell. No Ja Morant down the stretch. What do you do in Memphis?
Memphis is why there's no such thing as playoff sustainability. Like this is a year-to-year proposition with the NBA and the luxury tax bans now. You do what you can, you try and win as many games as you can, and you have to do it within a certain limit because of the CBA and the fact that the lawyer for the NBA PA might have been a bird. Like, I'm just being honest. Everyone wants to blame CJ McCollum for that, and yet no one ever blames the lawyer that kind of negotiated the deal. No one ever blames the lawyer for that, for negotiating that deal. So there's that. I just think that they're going to end up breaking it up, but fortunately for Memphis, there are going to be a lot of teams that end up breaking up their teams, and you might be able to get some superstars out of this deal to retool.
The second apron thing is going to be they're trying to turn the NBA and the NFL. While the NFL is built on parity and that every team's got a shot every week, the NBA is built on stars.
Yeah.
It just is. The star-driven league, it always has been and always will be. There are two big stars in Golden State with Jimmy Butler coming back later tonight. They lead the Rockets 2-1 right now. Is this an experience edge? Is this like, hey, we've been here, we've done this, like y'all are just a little bit too young for this shit?
Houston can't score.
They were a scorer away. Like for them to be the 2 seed in the West, I was like, well, they can score points, but they're a great team.
Yeah. Like they're a great team, but honestly, like if we're talking, and I know we're going to get to them at some point, like they're a Giannis away. They're a team that I think if they get Giannis, that works a whole lot better for them and it changes the dynamic. But as they're constructed right now, they can't score. And that's the problem. And Golden State's also been one of the best teams in the second half ever since that Butler trade. So this was going to always happen, unfortunately.
I need you to convince me at the age of 39 that the Clippers can beat the Nuggets. I can't. Every time I
wait, hold on. You mean to tell me that last second alley-oop basically didn't shut the door on all that?
Nata.
Denver's winning this series.
Right? Okay, it's not just me.
Denver's winning this series.
The Clippers have the better team, and the Denver's still going to win. Like it just feels like fait accompli.
Like here's the question I keep having. Like old James Harden is showing up at some point, right? Like the one that doesn't show up, he's showing up at some point
only in closeout games.
Fair. But I love Ty Lue and I get it, but like this team is like Kawhi Leonard, like the dying embers of peak Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Norman Powell's okay, and then somehow Ty Lue has gotten something out of Ben Simmons other than excuses and DNP CDs.
Do you open every post-game report about the Clippers the same way I do, like wincing for the Kawhi has soreness in his left knee? Like I brace for it every time I look at the post-game.
Because this is the only time he ever plays consecutive games, like consecutive games in the string.
And guess what? It's like the rust doesn't exist on him. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he's done, but it's like he's been playing the whole time.
Like quite literally, like that dude is. It just makes me sad that whatever happened in San Antonio was so badly misdiagnosed to where we'll never know what we could have gotten from him if they didn't misdiagnose.
I'm also similarly glad that he got away from a place where he didn't feel safe.
Fair, also very, very
like true. They got to a point where he was like, "You guys are fucking up my knee," and it's gotten to the point like it's a chronic knee issue. It's always going to be that way now.
Yeah,
and that stings. Let's go east. Let's start with the saddest story in the NBA. It's probably career, right?
Yeah,
it's a career.
Yeah,
like that's a year injury. We start talking about next postseason. He's not going to play then. So we're talking about 26-27.
Like he's small guard. He's going to be 38.
A 38-year-old small guard off of an Achilles. Yeah, we're done.
Nope, we're done. He
may sign a 10-day with the Portland to retire a Trailblazer.
But yet, like,
but I think we're done.
I feel
that sucks.
Like it does, but at this point, the only thing that kind of gives me pause on saying he's done is that he might just be done as a star player. He can have a backup role. He can have a backup. Hey, look at Chris Paul. Look at Chris Paul. Still hanging on for the love of it.
I think Chris Paul hates his family. I'm just kidding.
But also, again, he's much more beloved than Chris Paul, so that's why I also think that that's a spot. There's a spot for a backup.
Go back to Portland. Go get in the front office.
I don't think he wants to do the port. I don't think he wants to.
He loved it. He loved it there. They loved him. He loved it there. He was like a pillar of that community. Or am I buying hype?
No, you're not buying hype. But I also think that I want to see where Portland is in 2 years. Where I do think I like maybe there's a chance that I do think that there's a couple of years of backup point guard in his future, but his time as a star is done. It's done.
The thing is, when you're a shoot first point guard, we're an Allen Iverson. When you lose the step, there's no subtle drop off for the undersized guard. It's a fucking cliff.
Oh no, I agree.
Tony Parker, all of a sudden, Tony Parker lost a step, and it was a wrap, kids.
Oh, do you hold on? Do you think I didn't see? Remember, I saw that one up close.
Yeah, that was.
I saw that one. I saw that one up close. Devontae Graham outperformed that man in the last 20 games of that season. Trust me, I remember.
That's so specific and mean. But Giannis is done here too, right?
He has to be. But remember, Palm, this is not failure. Again, there's no such thing as failing. And remember that quote where he's like, losing to an 8 seed wasn't a failure? Ask me how many times he's gotten out of the first round since then, Palm.
Don't attack my Zen. He's a Zen man. He doesn't need that other thing. You know what he is? A champion.
Yeah. And he hasn't been out of the round since he lost to the Heat at that 8 seed Heat. Yeah. He hasn't been out of the first round since. And we let him get away with it.
It's a very bold and pragmatic way to look at the world, my friend. As Giannis is reaching you in an enlightened plane, you're over here dragging him back down to the material. How dare you?
Palm, if it was someone else, you'd be doing the same thing. If this is Chris Paul, maybe
it was Chris Paul would never find peace. You know that. A series I wish was going completely differently. The Pistons next. Like, fuck this, man. This Knicks team is such a fraud. Such a fraudulent team.
This series should be 2-2.
At best 2-2.
This series should be 2-2. Like, the refs completely jobbed out of them.
For 3-1 the other way. Like, I'm really upset about the series.
Yeah, you should be, but at the same point, like, we all know what Boston's about to do to them. Boston's about to hit them with it.
I want Tibbs to get fired. That's what I want. I want them to free this roster from the shackles of Tibbs. That's
not happening. That's not happening with the CAA Knicks.
If they lose in the first round, it is.
That's not happening with the CAA Knicks, man. That's not happening.
If they lose in the first round as a 3 seed?
Nope. You
know what? Hey, Nata, let's find out. Go this.
If they lose the series now, yes, maybe there's a good chance, but I doubt it. The CAA Knicks are not.
That's a decent roster, and he is just not the coach to coach it. He is not the coach for that roster.
No, he's not. But at the same point, like, it's not like they're going to hire anybody that is. Like, you think James Dolan's going to allow them to fire him? No, because the Knicks keep making him money. They're not going to. He's not going to.
They could not hold games and make him money. I'm not doing this.
But playoff money.
Celtics Magic. Boo.
That's another sneaky, like, we talk about the offseason stuff. That's another sneaky spot for Giannis.
Where?
Orlando.
Oh, motherfucker, I was about to fight you through the phone.
No.
If you tell me that there are Boston rumors, I will stop watching.
No, that's the Kevin Durant stuff. That's Kevin Durant. That's a
huge mistake for everyone involved.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. He's not redundant with Jason Tatum?
That you're assuming that Kevin Durant plays more than 50 games. I don't make that assumption anymore.
The gravity of Kevin Durant's not worth putting on your team, because you've got to start calling. You've got to adjust your offense for him, and then if he's a temporary part-time ass player, it doesn't. He doesn't work as a complementary piece. We've proven that time and time again.
Go ask Steph Curry about complementary pieces. He was a complementary.
He became a complementary piece around Kevin Durant. Go watch those games.
Yeah, you're kind of right about that.
That's one of the reasons why Kevin Durant loves Steph Curry, because he watched him sublimate himself the years he was there. He watched Steph take a back seat to him because he knew he had to, just for the team to succeed. And I'm not one of those big Warriors, like, belief in what they did type things. I do think that the level of teamwork that they were able to achieve at the height of it was actually pretty remarkable in sports or anything else.
That's true. Despite the fact that Draymond fucked it all up, which
they did it with Draymond being there. That in and of itself is more impressive. Look at what they achieved with this albatross around their necks.
Yeah, they got 2 of them with them. That's true. That's fair.
With this asshole ruining everything at every second, at every given turn. And last series is, I think it's over right now. There's blood everywhere. At the end of the first quarter, it was Miami 17, Cleveland 41, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's okay.
Has it gotten worse?
This is what happened. No, I have not looked, but
I'm checking right now. Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Look at the score.
Hold on.
For those of you
Are they
who
down
are
40?
Not live. Oh, you can't do math. For those of you watching not live, there's 40 seconds left. Cleveland has 138 points. Miami has 83. That's a 55 point differential.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I got to learn that with you, and I got to watch you be bad at math. That was fun.
Oh my God.
Hey man.
See, this is why you don't try and get cute. This is why you don't try and get cute.
Maybe I shouldn't have fucked around with Jimmy's money.
Yo.
We're gonna hitch our wagon to Tyler Hero.
Wow. You shouldn't have made the playoffs. Like, quite literally.
Y'all should let Trey who fought somebody. Little Trey Young.
Yo.
He bugged on the refs. He'd have bugged on that, man. Come on, man. 55.
Wow. I guess at least you got to keep your again.
Hey, if you're looking for me tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'll be parked outside the Levitar YouTube page. Can't wait.
Oh wow.
So excited. Jeremy Taché, let's hear it. Spin this.
You can't. That team was already bad and had no assets.
I always have to apologize to the city of Miami. Dog, it's so embarrassing.
Palm, like, have you looked at let me go look at the Miami Heat draft pick situation, because this is how
so
bad
funny to me.
No, you have to. I don't think you get like how
I'm
bad
crying. That's so funny.
The future draft picks are.
Oh,
all right, so let me just. I'm looking this up right now. They have their own. They basically have their own. The 26, like, they owe Charlotte a pick. They owe OKC a pick. And those are lottery protected. But if they don't transfer, if the Heat, dare I say, make the playoffs again, they turn to unprotecteds. This is a bad situation in which they're not going to get any better, and they really don't have the money.
If Sam Presti calls you, hang up the fucking phone.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I heard, was that these people did hang up the phone at some point. And now Oklahoma City owns one of their assets.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it'll probably get used to move for Giannis. They're another team.
Oh, you think Oklahoma City
could? Yes, they could easily. Think about all the draft picks they have. Think about all the young talent they have, and all they got to do is throw an Isaiah Hartenstein in the deal to make the salaries work.
That's like,
and yeah,
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Well, we talked Shedeur Sanders. We talked the draft. We talked a little college football with the old what do they call it, Chapel Bill.
Mm-hmm.
We talked NBA playoffs. We even talked March Madness.
Yes.
For those of you who are here for those of you who are here not for the squarest of circles, I bid you
adieu. Kings.
Sport of Kings, the final bosses, whatever you want to call it. I appreciate you listening. We'll be back later on. Now, for those of you left, you marks. Let's talk Mania. Let's talk Fallout. You and I have not spoken since Mania occurred.
John Cena's a genius.
30,000 foot view. Thoughts on Mania.
Is beginning of a functional reset of how WWE is going to do business going forward. That's how I look at that. It's a function. As long as you look at it as a functional reset, because the ruined wrestling thing, I think, is genius, and I think it's been needed for a very, very long time. I think this is going to be. I hope we look at championships differently. I hope we look at relationships with talent differently. I hope this is a functional reset because I think this is very much needed if you were going to try and take this this sport further mainstream.
I loved it. I thought from a storyline perspective, they started the stories as opposed to ending them, which I thought was an interesting decision after the last 2 years of Mania.
I think it was the only way they could go, though, too.
It was, but you've had your most success. For them to deviate from what getting the most success, it's great.
True.
I think that whatever is coming next, as far as in the business and things that they're planning and things they've already rolled out and things that they're rolling out right now as we sit here and talk, I think that the premium on in-ring work shined through over the 2 nights.
Yes.
Except for the last match because it was on purpose. But beyond John Cena's masterful character work, I thought it was, like I said, at the moment I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But as I sat with it and realized that it was the beginning, not an end, I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, the Raw after Mania did a lot to, like, when you
it reframed everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. We're going to talk about some like kayfabe shit in a second.
Yeah.
Let's get super fucking meta.
Yeah.
We're on the 4th decade of Rock versus Triple H.
Dog.
And the latest casualty appears to have been Mania. The Mania build, at least.
Dog.
What's very clear to everyone now is that Cena was supposed to turn heel at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to get a face versus face build on the way there. And according to The Rock, because as he said to people after this interview on Pat McAfee, he said, everything's a work. Which some people are like, oh, he's worrying about. No, that's what he's telling you what he's doing. Like right now, if I'm talking to you, motherfucker, I'm working.
Yes.
I'm 3 generations in this shit. You don't understand the level on which I'm working. For him to come out and say, Ari Emanuel asked me to show up because tickets were slow.
Yep.
It's not beyond them to tell the corporation story on a larger scale.
No, it's not. Especially not with a mouthpiece that basically works for you in ESPN and Pat McAfee. It's
also,
all the work.
However, as Kevin Nash noted, last time he got in the ring, he tore his pelvis, he tore his bone off his groin, and cost the film production $10 million.
Also,
Scorsese wouldn't let him do it. 100% probably true.
Yeah.
But both things can be true. And so, while I think they are setting us up for Triple H, Rock, proxy war in mass, large scale, what did you feel about the curtain pull of being like, and again, this is my opinion. I think it's all work. I think if you see it, you're supposed to see it.
Yeah.
That's my view of professional wrestling. If you see it, you're supposed to see it. So The Rock is saying these things, and they're launching a television show this summer.
Yep. What is it? Unleashed or Untold or something like that?
Something like that, where they're going into the writer's room, where the promo has them saying, no, he's fine. He's just selling. If you're going to expose the business at that point, then how do we tell the next big story?
That is a really good question. And that I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that.
It feels like they're doing. That's what I'm saying. It feels like they're already doing it.
Yeah.
It feels like the open speculation of people being like, hey, I think there's something between Rock and H. Triple H didn't mention The Rock, and he spoke for a goddamn hour at his Hall of Fame induction. He didn't say The Rock's name once. He mentioned everyone. He mentioned Sean Waltman. Just kidding. It's an X-Pac joke. I don't. It's just a joke. Throwaway joke. Throwaway cheap heat joke.
Oh.
But he didn't mention Dwayne. And for people to notice that, for Dwayne to go on television later and clarify everything's a work.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it feels like if you pay attention to WWE, they'll tell you what they're going to do while they're doing it. And it feels like they've told us. And we just got to pay attention.
That's the other thing, though. That's everything with Mania. That'd be my one criticism, is that they kind of painted themselves in the corner with the booking. Like, you knew exactly every single result, the way it was going to go, minus a couple of deviations here or there.
That being said, wrestling isn't good just because when it's surprising.
Also
there's a reason there's a formula. Gunther losing to Jey Uso. Sorry, guys. That's how stories work.
But also, if we get Murderous Gunther for the rest of I'm here for it.
Hey,
unhinged Gunther.
You talk about predictability. Seth freaking Rollins.
Dog.
The idea that they would finally, after so long, just say, you know what? You're right. We've never let you really be the guy. You've always been macho to his Hulk. Always. Even when he wasn't here, you were macho. We're going to let you run as Hulk. You're going to be the warrior for a bit. We're going to give you Paul. And that, guess what? For the record, I haven't seen anything that's happening tonight. If I were writing the character, that's the underlying paranoia. Even with all the trappings.
Yeah.
The belt. I'm still not the guy. Like, recreate that thirsty, early authority of Rollins, but with someone who has a resume not to have to feel this way.
Exactly. And then also at the same time, give him a guy that's clearly got next and put him right next to him.
You mean little Batista?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bring up Javon Evans as your Randy Orton.
Man.
He's young and he throws cutters.
Man, I was thinking Trick. Trick makes more sense to me, but Javon Evans works too.
How young? But think about how young Randy was when he got the evolution push.
Randy was what, 24, 25?
22, I think.
Oh.
Because yeah.
Because Javon's like 21, I think.
Exactly.
So right.
I'm saying, dude, rocking him. What do we got to lose? What has he made you hesitate once about any of this?
Fair. Like Javon Evans man, the only thing is, for like an evolution type thing to work, you would almost have to tell Javon Evans to cut his hair. And I don't want to do that.
No, it's new, baby. Seth's not going to stop wearing the bright colors.
Fair.
It's a new evolution.
Fair.
It's an evolution it's a revolution. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to write your booking, but like, I'm just saying, like, there's the bones of a really good story there based around this character of Seth Rollins, who's going to carry Raw, it looks like, going forward through the Cena.
Yeah.
Through whatever Cena's doing. Now let's talk about John Cena before we get out of here.
Yeah.
And the perfection of the art of professional wrestling.
Dude.
Professional wrestling is about a lot of things. At its core, it's about controlling an audience and telling a story through emotional resonance. The ability of John Cena to stand in the middle of that ring and weaponize the love of the crowd, even as a heel. He's telling them how much he hates them. They're cheering. Cool. You love me so much. You're going to miss me. Bam. 37 days. Well, that's what it was. Now it's 26. Not matches, dates.
Dog.
And when I leave,
I'm the last real champion.
Dog.
Whoever
beats him goes over so like the go over for this character he's created, which is going to be Cody. For the record, just spoilers. It's Cody.
Yeah.
That was Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
This is Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. So does it happen in Survivor Series?
I'd have to count the dates. Honestly, I'd have to count dates.
You'd have to count the dates. But I don't think.
Hey, look, if Randy takes it off from a Backlash in St. Louis.
Ooh, that is a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that they've entered in with this. Because would Randy and John on his way out have been fun? Of course it would have been fun.
But not like this.
But now it matters.
Because you're against the clock.
TikTok. I just got to run them out.
And I'm gonna burn up all these dates as soon as possible so that I can take it with me.
He burned up one last week talking.
Yes. And it's so brilliant. It's so
brilliant.
It's so brilliant. And it's just one of those things, like, I am gonna miss John. I started appreciating John Cena much like probably most adult males right about the US title run. I didn't appreciate him
for US Open Challenge. You want some? Come get some.
Like, if you didn't appreciate John Cena then, you will never appreciate John Cena. I started appreciating him then. I have a fuller appreciation of John Cena now, considering what he's doing now, because this is just a master at his craft, just crafting the perfect emotional story. And I am engrossed by it. I can't get enough of it. I enjoy watching some of the reaction stuff from all the wrestling content creators. I'm enjoying that, watching him play them, watching the reactions to all of that. It's so good right now, to the point where I really just can't get enough anymore.
I I'm really, really happy with the era of wrestling we're in. I think that we're in a place that
golden age,
a lot of possibilities.
Golden age.
Look, new golden age. This is it. And they're gonna ask for a lot of money from you guys, and I need.
Yeah.
Some of these prices that are dropping, they've got to be fake, so that when the real numbers drop, that you're not shocked. Like that's the only.
Look, at this point, I'm just hoping to catch next time Raw's in Charlotte. I'm hoping to get there. I know I'm never going to be able to afford a PLE unless I get a media credential, and even then, we'll see.
I think New Orleans Mania is tough for me to say no to.
It depends. I might.
They'll be back again. They'll be back again in probably a decade, and when I could probably take my son.
Yes.
So that is a real. But he may not like wrestling. I don't want to waste my trip on a kid who don't like wrestling. So,
but also, wait, hold on. Again, wait, isn't Mania in New Orleans next year?
That's what I'm saying. New Orleans. Either I go next year or I wait till the next round.
Well, I don't think. I think it'll be 4 years. I think.
Really?
I think
you're tightening the circuit.
I think they are. I hope
they got bad reviews for Vegas. I've heard bad things from people who were there.
I think they're going to tighten the circuit. I think you're going to see a lot more LA. I think you're going to see New Orleans. I think you're going to see I think you're going to get Atlanta. I just wonder.
Atlanta is probably on the short list because if you can create things that are easy, Uber, or walkable, that's why New Orleans is the perfect Mania city. Because everything's walking distance. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've Mania being in New Orleans next year is a real big pull for me. Like it's really to the point where I'm like, I may have to start texting people that I like and be like, hey, I've never asked you for anything.
Dude, I'm considering the best thing about Mania, and I thank Triple H and them for doing this, they stopped putting it on Final Four weekend. So I can do both. What?
Now to tell everyone where they can find all your work and all your too much work, as we've already established this episode.
Well, again, so I do a few things for CBS Sports. I produce their Eye on College Basketball podcast. I run their YouTube channel for CBS College Basketball. Occasionally, I'll do some of the stuff, work on Fantasy Football Today. I do some work on Fantasy Baseball Today. And I generally do a whole bunch of stuff. I do produce Attacking Third every now and again, too. It's a lot of work. I'm very, very thankful for my job, despite you guys might hear my complaining. I do enjoy my job. I appreciate all of its benefits. And I would love if you'd subscribe, leave a comment or two once every, 3 months, just to show that people do care. And that's all I really need. But please go check out the content. We do work awfully hard on it.
Right on, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. As always, this is brought to you by DanielHallMortgages.com. If you can pay your rent, you can pay a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. Make sure you check out my other podcast, Venture, Life, Love, and Real Estate. 6 episodes in. Excited to share it with you guys. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at DPalm66. Make sure you subscribe everywhere you subscribe to your podcast for absolutely free 99. Share it with someone who you think would enjoy our particular brand of sports idiocy. That was your show. There is no outro. See you guys next time I feel like recording a podcast. Bye.